Hey everybody, it's Meredith Miller here with your Monday Sana Q&As. I've got a question from this guy. He says, having returned from helping others less fortunate, he was over working with refugees, and reading the book, which I recommended, which is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. If you haven't read this book, I highly recommend it. So he says, having returned from helping others less fortunate and reading the book, and after your immense help, I wake even more determined to enjoy every moment life gives me. Unfortunately, the black cloud of negativity from my wife leaves me stunned. Can you give your watchers and me the secret to leave such a person, knowing that her public persona will leave people thinking, how could I do such a thing to her? And the smears on my character that would follow. The book does show how everything can be put up with, yet I need to stop putting up with the abuse. A contradiction? So here's the thing. This book, the message of this book that I got wasn't that everything can be put up with. For me, it was that life has no grand meaning. You create the meaning yourself. Viktor Frankl's a psychiatrist. He was living in the concentration camps during the war, and he lost everything. You know, his family was separated. He didn't know if his wife was alive or dead. All of his professional work was just destroyed. He lost everything, right? And what he realized, you know, from his perspective, watching the people in these concentration camps, was that, you know, he asked himself, well, why are some of the people dying and some of the people surviving, and we're all living under the same circumstances? And what he came to understand was that the people who survived were those who were able to create some sense of meaning from their suffering, that the suffering wasn't for nothing, that it wasn't meaningless, right? That sense of meaning, that sense of purpose is what gave the survivors a reason to live. You know, for him, he was talking about the love that he felt for his wife. You know, he was rewriting in his head all of the work that he had created and writing the new work that he was going to create. This book, right, after the war. You know, that's why he wanted to survive. That's what kept him alive, right? That's what I got out of this book. And what he said too was that, you know, in the concentration camp, everything was taken from him, you know, and he looked at all these people and he said, you know, in life, everything can be taken from us, but the one and only thing that no one can take away from you is your attitude, your mindset, your state of mind. Okay, people can hurt you, people can abuse you, people can torture you, people can take everything else away. The only thing you have control over is your mental attitude. Okay, now if we apply that to this gentleman and his situation in his marriage, right? Similar but different situation. Okay, my friend, you and only you have the key to get out of your prison cell. Okay, Viktor Frankl was stuck. There was nothing he could do. He couldn't get out of the concentration camp. He didn't have the key. You, my friend, have the key to get out of your marriage. Okay, all of you listening, if you're in a situation where you feel like there's no way out, there's no other option, I don't know what else to do, the alternative just looks so bad, keep in mind you are keeping yourself locked in that prison by your mental outlook. Your attitude is keeping you stuck. There is always a way out. Always. Okay, so, you know, unless you're in the concentration camp, right? Which the only thing you have control over is your mental attitude. So you are in a marriage and you're unhappy in your marriage and you're saying, you know, you're getting some more perspective now. You've gone to help people who are less fortunate, which is awesome. If you need, you know, a perspective shift in your life, go help someone who's in a much worse situation than you are. Okay, that's going to shift your perspective drastically. So this guy went ahead and did that, you know, and he's saying he's feeling even more determined to enjoy every moment of life. But he's got this black cloud of negativity from his wife. And that's because you're living in the negativity paradigm. When you're living with narcissists, you are living in a negativity paradigm. It is very, very difficult to maintain a positive state of mind when you're surrounded with that kind of black cloud. It is manageable. through boundaries. It's manageable through mindset for a period of time, but you don't want to stay in that situation long term, because you're going to be expending all of your energy protecting yourself from that negativity versus being able to cultivate something awesome and amazing in your life, right? So he says, can you give me the secret to leaving such a person, knowing her public persona will leave people thinking, how could I do such a thing to her, and the smears on my character that would follow? The secret there is you got to stop giving a fuck what other people think, okay? No more fucks to give what other people think. You have to turn your approval inside. Inside. You have to stop looking outside for approval, okay? You need to stop looking for other people to tell you who you are. You need to understand who you are from inside. You need to give yourself that permission. You need to give yourself that approval. And you need to stop caring what other people are saying, because they don't know. They don't know what it's like to be you. You can walk into a room of 100 people and there are going to be 100 different opinions of who you are, and none of those are real, because those are all the projections that other people are seeing of you, right? The only approval that matters is yours, right? Dr. Sean Stevenson says, we humans, we go through life seeking approval from other people, and this is a ridiculous investment and waste of energy. There is no approval that feels as good as your approval of yourself. So you need to give that to yourself and stop caring what other people are going to think. Yeah, the narcissist always does the smear campaign, right? And it's really hard, because you want to vindicate yourself. You want to tell people that's not true. You want to prove to them who you are. But the reality is that if you have to prove who you are to somebody, they're not believing you. They're believing in the narcissist. That somebody is not your friend. You don't want to hang out with people like that. Your true friends are going to recognize who you are. Okay, those are the people that you want to hang out with in your life. And these kinds of situations are a blessing in that they help you get rid of the wrong people. Get rid of those people in your life who don't see you, who don't know who you are, who are listening, to the smear campaign of the narcissist. You don't want to have those people in your life, and you don't want to waste your time and energy trying to convince them of anything else. So you have to give yourself that permission and stop looking outside for approval. Expect that it will happen. It will happen. It happens almost 100% of the time, right? It will happen. And you have to be strong enough within yourself. You have to give yourself enough of approval that you're going to say, never mind all that. None of that's true. I know it's not true, right? And you're going to be there for yourself. Now, he also says, the smears on my character that would follow, right? So keep in mind, that's an inevitability, and you have no control over that. And if you're staying with this person for the fear of what will happen after, you are just keeping yourself locked in that prison. You can walk out of that prison cell any day. Any day. So if you're not walking out of there, you got to ask yourself, why? How is it serving you? Is it just the fear of the smear campaign, or is it something more? Are you getting something out of this relationship? Is this story somehow serving you? Do you get to play it small? Do you get to settle for things? Do you get to settle for mediocrity in your state of being and feeling? You just feel, meh, all right, but not fantastic. Do you get to settle for that comfortability by staying in this relationship, and then you get to blame it all on her and say, well, she's the reason for my unhappiness, and I'll never be happy, and it's because of her, and it's just the way it is. And if you're using that as your justification for staying, then that's on you, right? That's all on you. So you got to really get honest with yourself and ask yourself, why are you really staying? Because it's probably bigger than the fear of that smear campaign. It's probably something much more. Okay, so that would be my advice to you, is to really ask yourself, what is it serving me to stay in this marriage? What is stopping me really from walking out that door? Okay, that's going to lead you to something that you want to go work on. That's whatever the block is in your mind. That's whatever is keeping you stuck in that prison. That's what's keeping you from turning that key in the lock and walking out of there. So you need to get a reality check. You need to keep going deeper and deeper into that and ask yourself why you're staying in that. It's not just for the smear campaign. It's something deeper. I can guarantee that. I can guarantee that. You know, and as you discover what that is, and then as you discover that whatever that is isn't worth as much as your freedom and your well-being, at that point, the fear of the smear campaign is nothing. You're like, you people can say whatever you want. I don't care. I am free. I am just happy to be free. I don't care what you think and what you say. Okay, so that just tells me there's something deeper there. That's what I would dig for. I know it's difficult, and I'm sending you a big hug.